There seems to be a lot of people calling for the creation of a new party on the right to try and challenge reform. Not just ordinary people, but politically involved figures too. But would it be too late for this election cycle to get this party where it needs to be? With the ideological split between Nigel Farage and Rupert Lowe recently, and the cracks running all the way down the Reform voter base, a new political entity would be welcome by some, but those of a more pragmatic mindset perhaps are saying that would only split the vote and hand the keys to number 10 back to Labour. It's an interesting moment in time. If you look at the polls, Reform is around 25 to 27%, depending on which one you look at. Labour mid-20s, Conservatives low 20s, Lib Dems in the low teens. So think about that. The right-wing voting bloc as a whole takes up nearly 50% of the vote. If the Reform vote was split, and I would be surprised if it was anything greater than 60-40 on either side, then looking at those latest figures, both of those parties, the New One and Reform, would be vying for third spot with the Lib Dems, potentially. So is it the best time for this, or should people stay with Reform and try to change the party internally? Or with Nigel at the helm, is that an impossibility? It would seem so, looking at the way the party is controlled by him and the chairman. It might take a mass effort of the members to, say, organise and petition the leadership, especially over the immigration, deportation, Islamic issues. According to their own party manual, I think it would take a 50% of members to do something like this. I mean, I suppose you could threaten to not renew any membership and not vote Reform, but would this be enough for them to change course? And who could organise that internally? Now, this is one area where Rupert Lowe misstepped. Whilst drawing attention to the party's issues externally raised awareness, he would have been better off not attacking the leadership so broadly in the press, I feel. And he could have galvanised some support he had in the party to either push for change or garnered enough support to challenge Nigel Farage. Maybe. I mean, it might not have worked, but it could have been worth a try. Or maybe this was for the best. If the intention was to form a new party was already a seed of an idea, but time is of the essence, as it would be an absolutely astonishing feat to get a party going from scratch and win a general election in 4 years. I'm not sure that has ever been done by any political party anywhere in Western Europe, ever. And please correct me if I'm wrong, with some facts, please. Therefore, the options for those on the right that broadly support Reform on most things are accept that you might not get everything you want, including mass deportations, but support Reform anyway, knowing that they stand a good chance of challenging for power come the time. Or work incredibly hard to get some kind of grassroots movement going and join a new party, one that without some kind of seismic political shift would be lucky to get a handful of MPs next time around and hamper another party's chances. That could unseat Labour. So it's like a rock and a hard place situation for sure. And whilst it seems like 4 years is a long time, it really isn't in the political landscape. I mean, just look back at the 2019 election, for example, where Boris got a majority of 80 seats. And then look what happened in the following time. I mean, I know you've got COVID to blame and a whole bunch of things, but things move quickly in politics. So yeah, it really isn't that much time, and it took Reform far longer. And with, it took the introduction of Farage as leader for some, well, some certainly might add to that, for them to be in a position that they're in today. So someone with the ideas, knowledge, political fortitude needs to get cracking if they think they can do it. I mean, the coming council elections will be a good gauge to see where Reform are at. If they sweep up loads of seats across the land, they'll be on the right track. But if the results are even a little less than expected, maybe that's the signal that a new party formed quickly and helmed by the right people could be the way to go.